Wow, if you're not using this plugin, then you are shooting yourself in the foot. You are taking way longer to make beats than you need to, and your beats just aren't gonna sound as good. So make sure that you get yo Wagwan. Hope you're having a great day. Now in this video, I'm gonna be revealing the 7 must-have plugins for music production in 2020 and beyond. If you're watching this in 2021, you need these plugins. If you're watching this in 2022, you need these plugins. If you're watching this in 2020, you need these plugins. So stick through to the end of this video, because I'm going to be revealing crucial plugins that are going to make your beats sound much better and help you make beats faster and easier. So stick around. Now, if you don't know who I am, I'm Jay Carteret from jcarteret.com, teaching you how to be better at music, online business, and online marketing. This is the #1 spot for musicians and creators that don't want to be starving artists. So if that sounds like you, click on that subscribe button, check out the rest of the content on the channel, because you will love it here, guaranteed. Now, before we get into it, my question of the day is, what is your favorite VST or plugin that you're using right now that you think is a must have for other producers? Let me know in the comment section down below. Okay, so let's get straight into this, shall we? Let's not waste your time whatsoever. Now, the first plugin that we've got, yeah, is one of my special plugins. Now, by the way, I'm going to be using my guitar trap beat mixing template for this video. So if you want to grab that, there will be a link down below, as well as a link to all these plugins if you go to my music page, which will also be linked down below. Not my music page, my music tools page on my website, which will show you all these plugins and all the plugins that I use to make my music. But this template does help with the mixing. It helps with making these melodies and these plugins sound even better. So I highly suggest you grab it. Just go to jcarteret.com/guitar trap FL if you want to grab my guitar trap beat mixing template. But I do have other beat mixing templates that you can grab down below. Okay, so first of all, let's play this melody, which is a melody that I made earlier in a previous video, but let's play this back so you can kind of hear what we're going to be working with today. So a pretty cool guitar melody. Now let's actually bring up the pattern that this came from, okay? But before we do that, actually, because I'm going to be showing you some mixing plugins and all that sort of stuff, but first of all, let's turn this melody into another melody super easily by using one of my favorite plugins that I pretty much use on every single beat, which is our first plugin of the day, first one on the list, and that is Halftime. Yeah, Halftime is amazing because it's so dirt cheap. Yeah, it's super affordable, and it can turn what was a chorus melody, which you just heard, into a verse melody really easily. So let's listen back to what Halftime has done without even touching any of the parameters. Now, of course, let's get this up in pitch because we don't want it that deep, and let's hear what it sounds like. Pretty cool. Let's see what 2 bars sounds like. Nah, let's see what half in the halftime sounds like. That would be the melody that I would go for. Let's actually bounce this out. Why not? I might as well do this. Might as well have this all ready to go for when I actually make this beat. Might as well set it up real nice like that. Let's listen back. Okay, beautiful. Now let's actually bring up the pattern, because now I want to show you how we got this melody to sound how it sounds. So first of all, we've got ample guitar, which is on our list. So let's actually talk about ample guitar real quickly. Ample guitar is a great guitar plugin if you want to make guitar trap beats. I highly suggest you grab Ample Guitar. This is what it sounds like without my guitar trap template. So you can get some nice flamenco beats going. Personally, I like to use this for my guitar trap beats, so I like to mellow it out a little bit, and this is what it... And that's just me playing a bunch of white notes, so it sounds trash. But besides the point, Ample Guitar is a great plugin that sounds like a guitar, okay? And if you want to make guitar beats, you should get a good guitar VST. I highly recommend this. I really, really like it. But this is what this melody sounded like before we applied all these effects and all these different methods to it. So let's listen back. Oh, let's also get rid of halftime again. A little bit of comparison to the song that we've got over here. Oh, let's actually bring that pitch down. Here's the comparison you're looking for. So it sounds like it's been smothered and strangled and sent back in time. Yeah, that's what it sounds like. And that's the kind of vibe that I like to go for. Now, the first thing that I will do to any melody that I create, I always add this plugin because it works and it just does great stuff, and that is RC20. If you want to grab this, link down below, go to jcarterray.com/RC20. I'll just leave a link down below to everything. I'll leave it to my music tools page, and I'll try to link the individual plugins, but definitely RC20 is something that I use all the time. It's got a bunch of different presets, although I just generally use vinyl 1 or VHS, and then I just wiggle around the different knobs and we get to the sound that I want. So for this particular beat and this particular song, this particular melody, this is the setting that I used right there. And let's play it back and you can hear the difference. And let's turn it off. So that sounds a whole lot cleaner, a whole lot more just like MIDI. And when we add RC20, it just sounds a little bit more realistic. Sounds a little bit more gritty. Adds just a little bit more spice, a little bit more flavor. So let's layer it back one more time. Okay, beautiful stuff. Okay, now in order to get it to the melody in the background, also what I did was I turned it into audio, I pitched it up, then I turned that into audio, and then I pitched it down. Okay, so that's what happened over there. That's the full process. If you want to see that in action, watch my video on how to create guitar trap melodies, and I'll walk you through the entire process. Okay, the next plugin that I want to talk about is XO. Okay, XO is a plugin that I love to use. First of all, let's add some 808 to this real quick. Let's just add a little bit of 808. We won't go mad. We won't create the whole 808 pattern. But if we have some 808, then it'll help us demonstrate XO. So let's now I could add some more. Honestly, let's add another plugin to the list, and I highly suggest this plugin. I can't suggest it enough. Yeah, I just totally forgot to add it to the list. So instead of 7 plugins, this is 8 plugins, and that is RBass. Yeah, RBass, what it does is it just makes that bass hit a little bit harder. So with this 808 right about now, because it's quite low in the octave, it's in like C5 octave, some of these, you know, some of these hits just aren't hitting as hard as I'd like it to be. So if I just fling RBass on it and don't do anything else now, I could mess around with the frequency and all that sort of stuff and fine tune this to get this to sound even better, depending on what I want. But if I just do this and add nothing else, it's just gonna bring those bass notes out even more. So let's hear this back. And let's turn it off so you can hear the difference. So that's just normal, no RBass. This is RBass. Sounds like the bass is coming in because you owe it money and it's coming to beat your ass, yeah? When you got that RBass, got a little bit of distortion and it's just got a little more attitude, okay? So RBass, also add that to the list. I absolutely love RBass. It's definitely something that I recommend, okay? Next, yeah? So XO. We were talking about XO and let's get that up. The reason why I recommend XO is because it just speeds up the process of finding drums. It makes finding drums so easy. As you can hear, we've got the 808 going. We've got no other drums basically. Usually, sometimes I'll add a kick. I don't think we need a kick for this particular track. But what we do need is claps and snares, okay? So in order to find those claps and snares, what I'd do is I'd grab XO. I'd go to my filter list. I turn this to none. I pick a few drum kits. Let's go for my Metro Boomin. We'll get Chief Keef in there because I never use that. We'll use Wheezy and Pierre. And let's listen back. Let's see if we can find anything. That sounds nice. Let's add that to my snare. I'm just holding control and left click to just drag that. And then let's listen back to this. Wow, I don't know why my CPU's going mad like that. Let me turn off ample guitar because that might be why it's going mad, because I'm recording as well. Okay, so that's very much high end, okay? Getting a lot of high end out of that. And with my drums, what I like to do is I like to get some high end, like to get some mid, like to get some low. So this, quite low, but it's got that perk with it, which is gonna add just a little bit more than I need. And with XO, it's just easy to find stuff, and you can find things that sound similar to other things like this. That's quite low, but that's not what I want. That could work. Let's actually add that. Let's see what that will do together. And then let's also add a rim. That's a nice vibe to it. So let's actually add all of these together and we'll mix these in. And you see how I just went through multiple different kits, yeah? I didn't have to open up folders. I didn't have to do any of that. And I didn't have to go into this folder and then go into the room folder and then go into the snare folder and all that sort of stuff, which is the long part of actually making beats. It's just really, really easy. And I can easily pick sounds that sound similar to each other. I can go through this and find other similar sounds, all that sort of stuff. Great stuff. So let's listen back to this. That actually sounds pretty good. But let's also bring the song up and turn our pattern on so we can hear everything together. Let's actually get a different snare. I want a heavier, harder snare. So let's go to snares. That's what I want, like a clap kind of thing. So let's get that, and then we mix that with that high-end snare. Bring that down a little bit, and that should work. Next we need some hi-hats, closed hi-hats. Oh, actually, which one did I just get? Perfect. Let's bring that in. And then I'm just going to leave this like this. Otherwise, I could spend the whole day and we could just make a whole beat here. But that's not the point of this. So let's just add that hi-hat real quick. And then I'd also add perks and snares and whatnot. And we're like halfway there. more than halfway even. Okay, so that's that. That's that. Okay, I gotta stay away because I want to make this beat now, but let's stay away. Next thing we've got is another instrument, and that's Omnisphere. Okay, so let's actually copy this melody and let's bring out Omnisphere. Now, I generally use Omnisphere. Like, it depends what kind of beat I'm making. I might use it for the main melody if I'm using bells and that sort of vibe. But if I'm making a guitar trap beat like I'm doing now, what I'd use it for is my ARP and my pad. So that's what I'd go to Omnisphere for. But there's a bunch of stuff in Omnisphere. It's well worth the money if you use it. If you're just gonna use it for a few things, you might want to get a cheaper plugin. But I used the hell out of Omnisphere. I definitely got my money's worth. I made over 100 beats using just Omnisphere, and yeah, I love Omnisphere. It has a lot of great stuff in here. Now, what I use Omnisphere these days is I always use it for my arpeggiator. Now, there are probably other plugins that have better arpeggiators. Like, I only use this one ARP. I need to make more ARPs in Omnisphere, to be honest. But, oh, I also use it for my synth bass as well. But Omnisphere just gets the job done, and this ARP always gets the job done. So let's hear this ARP. Let's bring it down a little bit. Let's bring this up an octave. And this ARP is beautiful. I'd also add RC20 to this. So back to our old friend RC20. You can also use RC20 for your 808s to add some distortion to that. They do have a setting in there. But generally, once I add RBass to my 808, like, that's all it needs. I could add more if I really wanted to, but it's not necessary. So let's listen to... I'd also add, you know, a pad, maybe even add a bit of Arcade for some vocal chops, but Arcade is not a must-have plugin, so I'm not going to be talking about it right about now. Okay, we got to move past that. Now, the next thing that you should know about is Captain Chords. Okay, Captain Chords is a plugin that honestly I don't use anymore, or Captain plugins, because they have a variety of different plugins that comes with Captain Chords as well. I don't use this anymore, okay, because I've just graduated past that. Like, I know how to create chords. I prefer to just create my own chords from scratch these days and create my own melodies from scratch. But if you're starting out in production, yeah, you're starting out, you're just getting into it. I don't know if this is going to tell me to update or whatever, because I haven't used it in so long. And you don't really know about music theory, Captain Chords is going to help you out, and it's going to save you a bunch of time, okay? So with Captain Chords, what you can do is you can basically just create chord progressions really, really easily. So let me mute our pattern over here, and I guess we'll also mute our ARP, and we can... Yeah, this is going to sound trash. Let's see if we can find a better sound that might not sound so terrible. But Captain Chords ain't really about the sound. It actually is not a bad sound. But let's do a bell or something. Local pluck. Yeah, I like that. So Captain Chords is about creating chords. So we can have a chord that's one, and it will basically teach you a lot of stuff about music theory that you may want to know. You definitely should know this sort of stuff. It's going to help you out, especially if you want to try stuff out like suspended chords, you know, doing all this sort of stuff. All this sort of weird stuff that I generally don't do. Yeah, this is just a normal chord. Let's do one. Let's just do 1 4 6 5, which is the chord progression that we're actually not 1 4 6 5. 1 6 4/5, which is the actual chord progression that we're using for this song. So let's just play this back. So what it does is it just makes it really, really easy for you to be like, okay, this chord doesn't sound the way I want it to, so let me change that. Or this chord isn't giving me the vibe that I want, so let me change that. So let's play this back. Okay, that's okay. But if I really wanted to go this route, I'd probably go to 5 and then maybe 4 or maybe even 7. Let's listen back. Nah, that doesn't sound good. Maybe 6, 7. Yeah. Of course, it sounds weird with the 808s in the background because the 808 isn't following the exact same bass notes that we've got there. But that is Captain Chords. Definitely something you should look into, something you should check out, especially if you're new to production and you want to learn music theory as fast as possible while practicing at the same time and actually making beats. Okay, that's going to help you out a lot. Okay, and the last thing, I hope you've been enjoying this video. I hope you've gotten a lot of great plugins that you're thinking about grabbing. If you have, let me know in the comment section down below. Hit that like button, all that sort of great stuff. And the last plugin that we've got is Ozone 9. Now, this is the plugin that I use to master my beats. This may crash my whole system, but Ozone 9, I used to use Ozone 8. Back in the day, I used Ozone maybe 5 or something, I don't know. But Ozone's just a plugin that's been with me for a very long time, and I've always been a big fan of Ozone. It just makes your beats, makes your songs sound better. Like, that's the easiest thing I could tell you. It just makes it sound better. So for this example, I'm just going to add Master Assistant. I'm going to set it to high, and I'm going to leave this on modern. I'm going to go to next. Is Ozone on? Yeah, it's on. So I'll just play this back. And what it's going to do is it's going to analyze the audio. It's going to add a bunch of effects to it. And then I'll add a few of my own effects. And then Bob's Your Uncle, the track will be mastered. Obviously, I do this at the end. We're not quite at the end of the beat making process yet, but yeah. It's going to make everything much louder. So off the cuff, it's made everything much louder. Let's just play that back. Let me bring that down to -3 dB and let's hear that back. And let's bypass it. And we can add gain match. So we can actually listen back to our audio if it was at the same volume but didn't have the effects. And you can hear that it's boosting that high end quite a bit, to be honest. So I might need to tame that down a little bit, but usually I'll just apply the presets and just let it go. So we'll add imager, we'll add modern width, and then we'll add vintage tape, we'll add intimate warmth, and that's that. So when something's louder, it automatically sounds better. Like our ears are just predispositioned to, when you hear something louder, you think, wow, that sounds amazing. So when you've got the gain match and the bypass on, you can actually hear what's actually being done to the actual audio. So that's very, very important, very necessary to be able to do that. So it helps you with your mastering process. Now, that's all the plugins. I could go on and show you a few other plugins, but I feel like these 8 plugins that I've discussed in this video are great plugins for you to start your journey. Some of them you may not need to get until later on in your journey, like Omnisphere. I'd say get that a little bit later because it is super expensive if you can't afford it right now. But stuff like Halftime and RC20 and Ozone, I'd say get that ASAP. Even Ample Guitar, I'd say grab that ASAP. Captain Chords, if you're starting out with production, get that ASAP. XO is a little bit expensive, but get that as soon as possible because that's going to save you a lot of time when it comes to the production stage. And yeah, I think Omnisphere is the only one that I'd say, you know, wait off a little bit. Even RBass, you should get that as soon as possible as well. But do what you can with what you have. Get everything that you can right now, and then get what you need later down the line. And then, you know, just keep on upgrading your production kit as you go along. You don't need to buy everything at once. You don't need to spend a bunch of money straight up. You can buy a few things that help you make better music, help you make music faster. And then as you create more beats, as you create more music, as you start making money from this, then you can reinvest and purchase more plugins that's going to help you even more. So links down below to grab these plugins. Go to my music tools page. That's jcarterray.com/music tools. That will have all of these plugins laid out, and you can just click and grab that. If you want your beats to be half mixed before you even get to the mixing stage, then you want to grab one of my beat mixing templates. Now this is my guitar trap beat mixing template. You might want to grab my R&B trap mixing template if you don't make guitar trap beats. All of those will be linked down below. Go to jcarterray.com/guitar trap FL for my guitar trap one, and then you can search around my store for the rest of them. But what this does is it's just going to speed up your mixing process, so you don't really have to worry about that. It's got all the EQs and effects that you need, and it comes with a stock plugin version and the plugin version with all the plugins that I use. My old templates do come in separate forms, so you need to buy the stock plugin version or the version with all the plugins that I use. You can make that choice at your discretion. If you got any questions or any other videos you want me to make, let me know in the comment section down below. I'll see you in the next video where you'll learn more about music, online marketing, and online business. Peace out.